It would seem as though.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Welcome to episode 73. 73 of It Would Seem As Though, the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing.
Mostly nothing.
Mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Some days, we'll surprise you. So today we actually do have a topic.
We do.
Which we were supposed to have last week, but
Yes.
we never got to it.
Right.
We talked about getting to it, and then we didn't get to it.
Because our intro was 45 minutes long.
Ish. Yeah, it sure was. It was very long.
Well, we just have to
and
catch
that's
up.
okay.
Yeah.
But before we get started, I want to read an email that we got from my friend Rose.
Oh, love.
Hey, Rose. I'm
Hi, Rose.
so glad that you're listening.
Hello.
Hope things are going better.
Yeah.
She said, you two are the greatest already.
Oh, you win.
I know.
Listener of the week.
My dad broke his neck last week, and I had to drive to
sorry.
Bend. This 3.5-hour drive requires some good listening, and I got that in aces with you two lovelies. I am 1 week behind on your podcast, so this worked out well for me. I am transported to sitting around your kitchen table. What's she mean kitchen table?
Oh, this is a state-of-the-art studio.
Hello, we're in the highest tech studio.
Kitchen
How
table.
dare she kitchen table.
What are we, poor?
I know. And hearing the exchanging of great stories and whatever else you two have up your sleeve. Your banter keeps my mind from dwelling on the inconsistencies in life. Thank you, Rose. Well, thank you, Rose.
Thanks.
I'm so sorry about your dad.
Yeah, how do you
That
break
sucks.
your neck?
I don't know.
I've only known one kid to actually break his neck, and I doubt this is how Rose's father broke his neck. Because this kid, we were in 5th grade and decided to ride his little BMX bike up a half pipe where you skateboard.
Yeah, I don't see Rose's dad riding up a half pipe
listen,
on a BMX.
but wait, he did a whole flip and landed directly on his noggin.
Fuck, no.
And he...
Oh
Yeah,
my
it was
God.
in a back brace and a neck brace. He broke everything, and he was already 4'11", so he just stayed that height. You know what I mean? Yeah,
That's terrible.
I know, but I doubt Rose's dad was doing X
No, because
games.
Rose is a little older than me,
Okay,
and so her dad old.
yeah, it
I
happens.
mean, he's got to be in his 80s.
I would assume.
So probably not the half pipe.
No,
But either way, Rose, we're sending you love, and
all love.
hopefully, he's going to
Good juju.
get better soon.
Yeah,
Maybe hopefully they can help him.
yeah. I can't imagine.
But that reminded me of a story that my husband just told me this morning.
No.
And I'm going to share little bits and pieces just because, So one of the things, ever since he started being a funeral director, that he's been very adamant about is that nobody ever should drive a motorcycle for any reason.
Yeah.
Because they're death traps.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you're wearing all the goods and
Yep.
stuff, you're still not protected as much as if you had the steel of a car around
Well, and
you.
the chance of high injury or death that risk is way too high for me. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because he's had people come in who were wearing their helmets, but their head was no longer attached to their body.
Well-
so the helmet's not going to help.
No.
No,
Ugh, I hate it.
So he had a guy that he was telling me about, and I'm not going to go into all the details,
Thank
but
God.
I will tell you that literally half of his body, and I mean right to left, not up to down, but half of his body was destroyed. Limbs detached, his hand not, just shredded, so it looks like shredded
His
meat.
hand was not
And-
handing.
No, his hand was not handing anymore.
Mhm.
Neither was his foot.
Oh my
and everything was like,
God.
yeah.
How does he
said
play
it-
head, shoulders, knees, and toes is what I want to know.
Not.
When
That's
he
just
doesn't
it.
have a head, shoulder, knee, or
And
toe.
so now in the afterlife, what are you going to do?
Lay
Dip
down.
around.
He's going to lay down. Be on
Yeah.
a stretcher? I don't know.
I don't know.
Me either.
Because I watched the show Ghosts, and how you died is how you are in the afterlife.
Woof.
So if they cut your head off, you don't have a head.
Miserable.
I know, and so with him,
Ugly.
and because the guy in Ghosts who got shot through the neck with an arrow, Eternity with an arrow through your
Oh
neck.
my God, miserable.
Eternity sucks, I'm saying.
Yeah.
Who wants to live eternally?
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No, and that's okay. Well, and I'm gonna spin us out a little bit. That's a whole reason when you read anything about gods or mythology, they live for an eternity. They don't have human thoughts or emotions or fears or desires because they live for fucking ever.
Well,
and who
right.
wants that? Who wants to lose so much of themselves and they live forever? You just
And that was
become a
one of
husk.
the interesting things, and I think we talked about this before when I was listening to one of the pods that I listened to, and it was Jinx
Yeah.
talking about gods and eternity and
Yeah.
Which actually, no, I'm sorry. She was talking about vampires because she watches the show What We Do in the Dark.
What We Do in the Shadows.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was close.
It's so good.
Anyhow, but she was saying how you live forever. Mm-hmm. Social mores don't mean anything because you realize really how fleeting everything is anyway.
Yeah.
And so sexual mores really wouldn't mean anything because like, well, sure, I'll try this. What the hell?
Yeah. And I do love that. And What We Do in the Shadows, there's a lot of like queer elements because they've all been with kind of everybody, you know, which I think is magical and amazing. Do it. Just sleep with everyone.
Why not?
Okay, sidebar. Your children were at my house yesterday, and we're watching Danger Force, like this cute show that has like a group of superheroes. There are so many things in it that I'm like, this is very progressive because there's a trans.
So where is this? On what?
Netflix.
Netflix, okay.
But Henry Danger, I think, was the show, and then Danger Force.
And then Danger Force was the spinoff,
right? But there's a trans actor in it, a trans man, who
plays. Was he? Because Danger.
His name is Schwaz in the show.
Schwaz, right?
Yeah.
Well, because he's his his right hand man,
right? And then there was another trans actor who was another trans boy who had who was like a guest appearance for a couple seasons. But there's one of the episodes we watched yesterday, there was like a hot guy who worked at like the smoothie place, and the girls were all gaga over him, and when the boys saw him, they were also gaga over him.
Love
and I
that.
was like, this is really cute to me that it's so like, it doesn't seem so different from when I was a kid, but there's so many elements that are so different where they add like gender fluidity or sexuality fluidity, which I think is like really cool.
Well, I also love that Schwaz's character is just a man.
Oh yeah, love
There's
that.
like he's a trans actor, but his character is not a trans man. He's a man.
Yeah, I love
He's a man that. Why can I not remember the lead character's name? But that he went to college with, and that's where they met.
Yeah,
and he invents stuff, and he helped him be a superhero.
Yeah. But I
so
love that
because we watched the entire series of Henry Danger.
Right. Well, and Henry makes an appearance, and he's older. And I said, "Who the hell's that?" And Parker's like, "It's Henry." And I said, "Oh,
how could you not know that, dummy?"
Henry, right? Henry Higgins.
Ugh. I'm sorry, but Henry Higgins is one of the meanest characters
piece of shit.
in literature.
Yeah.
And he's the love interest.
Gross.
He's a pig.
Yeah. My Fair Lady.
Ugh, yes.
Yeah,
My Fair Lady, originally Pygmalion, and then, yes, My Fair Lady. But he's an asshole.
He is an asshole, I know.
And why they're like, we should make him the love, let's make her fall in love. Why don't you make her at the end go, you're a piece of shit. I don't care that you're the richest man I've ever met. You're garbage.
Trash person.
Absolute trash.
Yeah.
And I would think if they remade it today, they'd have to be like, you know that really nice poor guy that I met who treated me so great? I want him.
I love him.
You're garbage.
You're trash. Yep.
And you deserve to be alone because nobody should be with you. So, on a different note, actually, before I jump on, I don't remember what it was called, but there was also a cartoon a few years back where it was a superhero cartoon, and the lead character, when they went from their normal person to their superhero, went from being a boy to being a girl. And I don't remember now what it's called.
Really?
Yes.
I love that.
But because he stole like this thing from his sister, so that when he transitioned to superhero, it was like it should have been his sister, so he became a girl.
I love it.
And so
That's
I thought that was pretty cool.
Right.
And people, of course, were all mad.
I know. The queer agenda.
But speaking of the queer agenda, as we mentioned last week, Pride Month. It is Pride. Now, ordinarily, Pride Parade, it would be held this weekend on Father's Day. But due to circumstances beyond their control, it had to be moved to July.
Weird.
Because of city stuff was booked up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or the city's trying to make it difficult. Who knows? I don't actually know. I don't work on the Pride Committee, but I do know it's going to be this time next month. It'll be the 16th, I think, of July. It's the day before my husband's birthday.
Okay.
Yeah. But it is Pride Month. And there is a documentary on Disney Plus called Pride from Above.
Okay.
And it is Pride festivals around the world and all shot. I mean, they're shot in some spots in regular, but they're shot from above, so you get this aerial view of like how amazing they look.
I love that.
And the Pride event that kicks off Pride for the entire world is in Australia.
Interesting.
In I think February or March. Because, it's warm then.
Yeah.
It's there at summer.
Right.
And it has for many, many years. I love that.
Interesting.
And it just gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And, and it's but their parade is at night.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's
and
going to be scorchingly hot during the fucking day.
I imagine. But it's all lit up.
Stunning.
And there's, and like one of the groups were queer lifeguards.
Okay.
Doing this whole choreographed thing. It was super cute.
Yeah, I love that.
But watch it. It's called Pride from Above on Disney Plus, if you have Disney Plus. But one of the things I wanted to just mention was kind of pride around the world. Because I didn't know like how many places actually have pride. So how many celebrate all of that stuff. Oh my God, and I put this link in here, and then I kind of lost all of the things. So I wanted to just mention like where around the world pride happens. Some places will probably surprise you. I know some surprised me. In Africa, we have Madagascar.
Wow.
Malawi.
Okay.
Mauritius, which I'm probably saying wrong. South Africa. So several places in South Africa. Uganda. In Asia, we have East Timor and Hong Kong, and India. June 29, 2008 was the first Pride in it, so not that long ago.
No.
And they did it in 4 cities. They did it in Delhi, Bangalore, Pondicherry, and Kolkata, which I was like, well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
In Hong Kong, though, I thought this was interesting. The first Pride in Hong Kong was called International Day Against Homophobia.
Love. Okay.
Yeah, and that was in 2005, and then it turned to Pride.
Okay.
So pretty cool.
Yeah.
Israel.
Okay.
In Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. And let's see, where else do we have? Tokyo.
Okay.
Tokyo started in 1994.
Okay.
Lebanon.
Wow.
I know. So like I said, and it's still illegal to be homosexual in Lebanon.
Yeah.
So, and Lebanon, I believe, is the only Arab nation to have pride.
Yeah.
So that's
Crazy.
interesting.
Yeah.
South Korea.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. North Korea, I would be shocked.
Yeah.
South Korea. No.
Yeah.
Nepal.
Okay.
The Philippines.
Right, makes sense.
In 1992, the lesbian collective marched during the International Women's Day celebration, only to be met with opposition by progressive feminist movements marching. So they were mad that the lesbians were marching. It's like, get over it.
Yeah, shut the hell up.
You're all looking for basically the same thing. On June 26th, though, 1994, to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Stonewall, they had their first actual pride.
In the Philippines?
In the Philippines, yeah.
Love it.
Yes. Singapore.
Okay.
Taiwan. Thailand. Vietnam. Europe, not surprised that it's kind of everywhere.
Literally everywhere.
I was more surprised that it was some of the countries that you think of as being more conservative. Like Croatia, Yugoslavia.
So like Eastern
Slovenia.
Yeah, right.
Serbia.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, I would not expect that.
Agreed.
But of course, we have such a...
distorted...
We really do.
Purview of what Eastern Europe is.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bosnia and Herzegovina. Bulgaria.
Love it.
Croatia. Denmark. Who's surprised it's in Denmark? Nobody. Mm-mm. Estonia. Finland.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to say, and on taking a little side note, that Finland was what I saw when I was watching that thing the other day, that it was the #1 country in the world for education.
Okay,
Elementary education. Because their children do not do homework, and they only go to school like 4 hours a day.
Yeah, I love that.
So the kids aren't burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
They enjoy school.
Yeah.
And they still get lunch in school with those 4 hours that they're there.
Yeah.
And they get a real lunch. They're not given some slop that the government's like, well...
it says radioactive on it.
Ketchup is a vegetable.
Yeah, expires in 3050. Mm-hmm.
Right. Because their whole notion is, if kids are home, even if they're on their tablets, they're having fun. Mm-hmm. They're learning something.
Yep.
And they're having adventures and they're having experiences that they wouldn't be having if they were sitting there with a book and a pencil.
Nope.
So I say...
I know.
Good for you.
Snaps.
The first Helsinki Pride was in 1975, and it was called Freedom Day.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me. Iceland's real cool.
Yeah. France.
Okay.
Of course, no one's surprised about that.
No.
Germany, Greece.
Oh, okay.
Greece has a little.
A little bit. They've had some issues in the past 15 years with being not super friendly to the queers.
Greenland. I didn't know there were any people there. So.
Me either. But next you're going to say Antarctica.
No, next is Iceland.
Okay.
Well, in Iceland, it's funny because I always remember Iceland is green and Greenland is icy.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ireland. Now, the only reason Ireland, I'm surprised but not. Ireland is very Catholic.
Very.
It's very conservative.
Yeah. Well, I mean, half of it.
Yeah. So, Italy, Latvia.
Okay.
Yeah, Lithuania.
Wow.
The Netherlands. Most of the people there are queer, I think.
I know, I'm pretty sure. I think most people in Europe are queer, to be honest.
Poland, Portugal, Russia. Now, Russia surprised me.
What?
Yeah, and Russia
That's
surprised me just because it is so under, like communist control with a dictator and all this. Like,
Yeah.
Serbia, Slovenia, Spain.
Wow.
Obviously, we're going alphabetically.
Yeah.
Sweden, not surprised.
No, again.
The country that started with it had ABBA.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Gotta be gay.
Everyone in Sweden.
Yeah.
Everyone in Scandinavia is queer as well.
Yeah. Turkey.
Europe, Northern Europe.
Right. United Kingdom, and then, of course, there's all the different ones in the United Kingdom, but we don't need to go through all that.
Right.
Barbados,
Okay.
Canada.
Okay, yeah, obviously.
Mexico, Trinidad and Tobago,
Okay. Snaps.
and of course the United States.
where there's like
Covered with it.
Yeah. We're covered with pride.
We're covered with pride. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something interesting. This isn't on the list, but in Iran, they are not super pro-gay people, but they are not anti-trans people. Isn't that interesting?
That is odd.
So, but they think that being a homosexual means that you want to be the opposite sex. So because they think they have socialized healthcare, they will pay for people to have like sexual reassignment surgery or gender reassignment surgery.
Oh, okay.
So they then fit into the categories that they have in Iran. So you're not a deviant now. You're just a woman or a man, and they've paid for you to have surgery.
Okay.
Isn't that insane?
That is
And it's
insane.
under they had like their whole Islamic revolution and all of that. And so like that's really interesting to me that they're like, oh, you can't be gay, but you want to be a lady?
You can be trans.
But you want to be a lady? Girl, we'll pay for it. You want that vagina? Here you go.
That is odd.
Weird, right? I know.
Okay, South America, we have Argentina, Buenos Aires.
I would pick most places.
Yeah.
Probably most places in...
Most, although what's interesting is in Rio, which is like this big party city,
Yeah.
it's illegal to be gay.
Illegal to be gay.
It's illegal and it's dangerous. It's downright dangerous to be gay.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Legality behind being homosexual.
I know,
It's
it's
so weird.
I'm sorry, but as long as you're putting your grown-up parts in another grown-up, I don't care.
And it's consensual, bitch.
I'll
I don't
care.
give a fuck.
No, not even a little bit.
No.
So who do you think has the biggest Pride event?
Oh, I don't have any idea.
NYC.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Not surprising. New York City has the biggest.
Well, I would assume New York City or Los Angeles, because West LA is a huge Pride as well.
Yes. The Guinness World Book of Records for the largest Pride parade had 2.5 million people
Jesus Christ.
in Brazil.
Holy shit.
Now, first of all, those people were cooking.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking hot there, and that parade took 7-8 days to get through 2.5 million people.
I was gonna vote for last year's Pride in Portland, bitch, because I swear to God it went on for 5 fucking hours. From the first float that passed me to the last float was literally half a day, and
Girl,
I said,
you had to reapply your makeup.
"Girl, I was like, I had to
had to
stand
change
for a
your
while, I had to
clothes.
sit for a while. Yeah, I had to take a
know.
nap. It was nuts.
I know. By then, my eyelashes were drooping, my hair was falling.
Well, and everyone's because
my tits were sagging. It was all like, girl, I need to go lie down.
It was the first Pride in however long because of COVID, but I was like, does it really need to be this fucking long? Can we just like, can
and
one
I didn't even
person?
think that was the longest one.
No, but it was so long. It was so
was so
long.
long.
I
It
was
was so
achy
long.
after being there all day.
Yeah.
Standing for hours.
Luckily, I was
Ugh.
sitting, but for me, also the issue with sitting is if I sit too long, I'm achy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because then I go to stand up, and my body's like,
No. And I have too much ADHD, girl. I'm like, can we go do something?
move this along.
Yeah, quick it up, bitch. Like,
Well-
ooh, yay, Pride, queers, love it. Now move. Like,
Yeah. We've seen you. Oh, look, another float with more gay people. We've seen the gay people.
yeah,
We
can just
love the gay people.
one person from every float just like run by? I would be
Oh, now there you go.
thrilled, right? holding a sign.
Now, here's the thing. You want the shorter thing. You go the night before to the Dyke March.
Oh, I don't want to.
It's much quicker.
Yeah. There's
It's also
7
probably
floats.
more organized because it's
Lesbians.
lesbians.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the Pride Parade always is the beginning, which is the Dykes on Bikes. I love that. There's something to me that's just kind of magical about, one, just the energy of all those motorcycles.
Yeah.
Even though I did just talk about how deadly and horrible motorcycles are.
Yeah.
But you're riding them slowly through a parade.
Yeah, so it's fine.
And I assume that none of those women ride motorcycles the rest of the year.
No, just
they're
that.
safely parked in their garage.
Yeah.
And when they do, they have like that Pope bubble around their
Yeah.
motorcycle. Yeah. So they're all good. But there's just something about all of it. It's the rumbling and just the sound and the energy, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I know.
But yes, the parades do go on too long.
Agreed.
And then there's always now the complaints about it's too commercial. And I see both sides of the argument. But it's like, okay, we have all these corporations in the parade, but we have corporations in the parade that are supporting their queer employees. Yes, are they doing it to get your business? Probably.
Yeah.
But are they also supporting their queer employees? Yes.
Well, and I feel like
so I love that.
it shouldn't. I mean, it is. Yes, it's concerning when people do like rainbow capitalism, right? When they're all just like,
Absolutely.
we're supporting the queer, so it'll make us money.
Target.
But it should be more concerning to you when they stop doing it.
Right.
What happens when they stop supporting queer people? So be up in arms
Target.
because it's like, oh, capitalism, fine. I fucking hate capitalism too. But I would much rather patronize a company or a business that is okay or supportive of the queer community than somebody who's going to, backpedal all the shit they've said to save face. And I think that is scarier than rainbow capitalism. I'll take that any
one
day.
of the things, I was listening to Delta's podcast the other day, and she had Bible Girl on there. And I bet a lot of people don't know who Bible Girl is, but she started the company Drag Merch, the dragmerchandise.com. Anyway, Bible Girl started this company to sell drag merchandise. So that the girls were actually, because there are a lot of companies that'll just slap something on there and call it like a picture of Bianca Del Rio or whoever and be like, what, we're saying it's drag merchandise. Well, but Bianca's not getting a cut of that.
Yeah.
It is her image, which is illegal. But her company actually partners with the girls.
Yeah.
So that they're making money off their merch.
I love that.
Well, a whole bunch of their merch was in Target.
Oh.
And then this whole mishigas started with the people like going to kill Target employees because they were carrying queer stuff. Fuck off.
Yeah, honestly.
And so then Target moved a bunch of it to the back of the store so it wasn't so present. And there was all these idiot people in there going, where's the straight section? The whole rest of the fucking store.
Yeah, I don't understand. Well,
where's the straight pride? Shut the fuck up.
I don't understand when people are like, well, that's for gay people, then what's for me? Like, do you understand that gay people and straight people have a lot more in common than they don't? So those clothes that queer person is buying are also clothes that a cisgendered heterosexual person can buy. Like, the whole separation of like, well, that's for gays or that's for girls and that's for boys. It's so fucking stupid. Like, wear clothes that you want to wear. Stop fucking freaking out about people and their identities. Just like live your life. It's really pathetic to me, and it shows that you have nothing else going on.
No,
that you have not even two brain cells to rub together. If you're gonna fall for that bullshit, that you're gonna like go for a marginalized group of people that has done literally fucking nothing to anybody ever, and you're gonna come for them for what purpose?
Well, it's all just a big red herring anyway.
Yes.
It's like the whole look over here.
Yep.
Don't look at what's going on really in politics. We want you to look over here at this thing that doesn't hurt anyone.
Yeah.
Or isn't causing any trouble.
No.
But if we can get you to focus on the queer people,
Yep.
then you're not focusing on the money that we're grifting from you, or the rights that we're taking away, or the fact that we're looking at taking away Social Security, or the fact that, all of this shit is happening that we don't want you to notice.
Right.
Or the fact that we're trying to elect a man who has been indicted on
71 times or something horrible.
But he's recently been indicted twice.
Yeah.
So he has 2 trials coming up. I guess yesterday. No, yes, yesterday. He was supposed to enter a plea, which of course would be not guilty. But I learned that he could even if he goes to jail, he could still run for president.
So stupid.
And his asshat followers would probably elect him.
Because they're dumb too. I know.
Like, what is wrong with you?
I know, it is so weird to me too. It's like the queer people are not the ones who are actually grooming your children or harming your children. They're not the ones who are shooting up schools.
No.
They're not the one who are restricting rights. They're not the ones who are not feeding the hungry or not housing the poor. You know what I mean? They're better Christians than you are, and they're probably not even Christian.
Absolutely.
You know?
Well, and I saw a Republican politician the other day. I think he was a senator. I don't know his name. I'm so sorry about my lack of details. It's poor journalism on my part.
Yeah.
But he was talking about how ashamed he was of his own party. Because he said, the laws that you're trying to put forward where you cannot have medical care for your trans children is nothing short of a hate crime. He said, my son, who was assigned female at birth,
Oh, I watched this.
tried really hard to be a female. But he said, I could watch the light literally going out of his eyes as he tried so hard to be this thing he was not. But as soon as he transitioned, the light came back in his eyes because he was who he was. It's like he always had this same masculine energy.
Yep.
And he's like, no one's trying to force anyone, which is the lie that the Republicans keep telling.
About
It's
the
like,
left. Yeah.
Is the left is like, we're forcing our children to be trans. That's the dumbest fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
No one's trying to force children to do it. I try to force my children to clean.
Yeah. Ooh,
I try to
girl.
force them to take the garbage out. You know, because I'm so mean. I try to force them to do like 2 chores a week.
I know.
My poor children.
I know.
But as to what I've been telling my children since day one, you be what makes you happy. Because really, as parents, that's all you should be concerned about is that your children grow up to be good people.
Yeah.
And that they're happy.
Well, and what I don't understand too is these people who are making all these laws and legislation, like you more than likely have children or grandchildren or families.
Yeah.
What happens when they all turn their back on you for this fucking stupid money grab political bullshit? Like, when this is written in history, all of the people who are on the right side of the aisle are going to be demonized.
On the wrong side of history.
Exactly, right. For sure, because they're treating other human beings like they're an alien, like they're non-existent, like they're subhuman. And I don't think that's going to bode well for them, their future. And I mean, how embarrassing for their families. If I was their family, I would be humiliated.
So a funny little thing that happened, you know, talking about lawmaking and shit.
Yeah.
A funny little thing happened in Florida.
Funny.
I think it's hilarious. So they passed a law making it almost impossible for people to immigrate to Florida. Well, suddenly they don't have people to do their jobs.
Do anything, yeah.
Because guess what? White people don't want to do these hard jobs. They want to like sit on their ass or hold up a sign to collect money or go on, you know what's the one where you just ask for money on the interwebs?
Who knows?
Whatever. But it's like they don't want to do real jobs, or they want to not go to college but still have all the high paying jobs and whatever. It's like, you don't want to go out and pump gas.
No.
Or you don't want to go out and work the fields, or you don't want to do hard labor. These people who you're now stopping from coming into your state are the ones who are doing all those jobs. So also when you say the ridiculous thing, they're stealing our jobs. You don't fucking want that job.
No. And also, there are so many people who immigrate here who are like highly trained, highly educated professionals. Yeah, that astrophysicist is going to steal your job, and you didn't even graduate high school. You work at fucking McDonald's. Like, just because you're white, that means literally fucking nothing.
Well, in their eyes, it means literally fucking everything.
I know.
It's like, well, because I'm white, I should have all the privilege. Oh my God, speaking of white, I just have to share this with you. So yesterday, I have been really struggling with my knee. My left knee has been hurting so bad since I did the All Ages show that I've been like, dragging my leg like the mummy. Yeah. It's terrible.
It's okay, Igor. It's fine.
I know, right? So I went to the doctor yesterday, one, to get a shingle shot. And then later in the day to get cortisone on my knees. So I go to get my shingle shot, and I'm going to mention the ethnicity of the young lady working behind the counter because it does matter to this story. So I go up to the counter at the pharmacy because that's where they give you the shingle shot. Is the pharmacist gives it to you.
Okay.
And I said, hi, I'm here for my 10 o'clock appointment. Here's my name and my birth date. And she said, you're here for the Shingrix? And it was all... Sure.
Yes, whatever you say.
You know better than I.
Yeah.
And I'm like thinking, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm here for a shingles vaccine, but it's apparently called Shingrix.
Love it.
Okay?
Cool.
So I'm all, yeah. Hopefully it's the right shot. I didn't just agree to some other
mad
weird
cow
thing.
disease.
Right. And she's like, okay, fill this out, go sit over there. Perfect.
Love it.
Old white lady, and I'm an old white lady, so I get that. But old white lady behind me goes up, says, "Hi, I'm Doris, and I'm here for my 10:15 appointment." And the lady said, "Oh, you're here for the Shingrix vaccine." She goes, "I know it. Honest to God," she said this word for word. "I know it's really hard to pronounce, but the word is shingles."
Oh my God.
So I'm sorry, you said this to the young black woman behind the counter who clearly is educated because she's a pharmacist.
Mm-hmm.
But you, old white lady, are going to tell her, I know it's hard to pronounce. Oh my God. I wanted to slap her.
Did you hear the response? Was there a response?
Did not.
Damn it.
I did not, because the young lady behind the counter, A, was professional. And I'm sure she gets this shit from white people.
All the time.
And it's like, what the fuck
Well,
is
it's
wrong
because
with you?
that is like Portland's ideal racism, like polite racism. Do you know what I mean? Because that was that was clearly discriminatory.
I'm sorry you're not smart enough to know what this word is, but I'm going to help you because I'm helpful. I'm a helpful white lady.
Yeah, look at me.
You're not. You're a bitch. And so, if you thought that in your head, oh, she doesn't know how to pronounce that word.
Then so what?
Then keep that in your head.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you what, I like I said, I was like, I don't know that word. When I got my little paper saying what I was doing, I looked at the top and it said Shingrix vaccine for shingles and blah, 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 whatever. Oh, okay. But never did I go, I know you're not smart enough to know this, pumpkin.
I know you're a big dummy.
But I know because I'm old and white.
Yeah.
So I know
and
stuff.
I've been here since language was created.
Right. But, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, right.
Really, and...
That shit's irritating.
Yeah. Really irritating.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate everyone.
Yeah. Ugh, people.
Yeah, but
on the so the funny part of me getting my cortisone, I had to come back at 3:00 to get cortisone injections, and one thing I had not counted on. So cortisone is part of it is anti-inflammatory, but the other part is that it creates a cushion wherever they've injected it.
Okay.
In this case, underneath my patella, which by the way feels
Ew.
delightful as they do it.
Keep your patella out of it.
But I have no cartilage there, so they got to put something there. Well, so as it's filling up, you can feel the pressure of it trying to shove into a place where there's no room.
I fucking hate this.
Yeah. Well, but one of the things I had not counted on was the anti-inflammatory nature of it. Because what happened was, since I was retaining water, it was like, oh, let's get rid of all of that.
Let's go pee.
Literally, between the time I went upstairs last night to read to my children, which is 8 o'clock, and 5:30 this morning when I came downstairs, I peed 8 times.
Jesus Christ.
And every time, it was like, oh, girl, I gotta pee now.
Yeah.
And it was like, it would wake me up going, oh, no, if you don't pee now, you're gonna pee yourself.
Yeah.
Hurry up, run to the bathroom, and run, please.
Yeah. You just...
Other than running my mouth, I don't run nothing. And I was like, oh, Jesus, God, please get me before I pee my pants.
Yeah, Jesus, come help me to the bathroom before I wet everywhere.
Right.
And get it.
Oh, so, but I was like, I lost 5 pounds of water.
Oh my God.
I know. So it's crazy.
She's like feeling thin.
I know, I'm so thin today, I can hardly even see myself.
I lost all my hydration.
Because 5 pounds made all the difference in the world.
You never know.
Well, with me, 5 pounds. I have to lose, literally, 50 pounds before someone notices. Yeah. And then from there, it's noticeable.
Sure.
But then people go, wait, something's different.
Yeah. Did you change your hair?
Did you get new glasses?
Yeah. Yeah. I love your earrings.
Yeah.
You're all,
Oh, and my earring, as you said that, my earring fell out of my ear.
Oh my God, witchcraft. I'm sorry.
Oh, you must have done it. You cursed me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Put that back in my... Well, I didn't put her back on it today.
Oh my God.
And so, that's the 3rd time it's fallen out.
Jesus.
So, our actual topic
yes.
today, because we do have one, and now we're only halfway, and so we have a whole half an hour to talk about
Love it. It's enough time.
We're going to talk about grieving the living.
Yes.
Because, one of the, when people think of grief, you think of death automatically.
Sure.
And you think of the 5 stages of grief and all of that, and people think about how to grieve their loved ones.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things for me personally is I realized, having lost so many friends, that grief is all about you. It's not about them.
No.
It's about you're going to miss them, but that's you. You're never going to see them again. That's still you.
Yeah.
You're going to not have conversations. Still you. So the fact that they're gone, I don't find to be nearly as sad as the fact that I'm not going to get to... Well, if it's somebody I loved or somebody I spent time with, then I'm not going to get to do that anymore. Yeah. So it's still... That's about me.
Yeah, but I mean, but grief is also a natural, normal thing.
Oh, absolutely, of course.
I feel like people hearing that might think like, oh, it's a selfish thing, right? But I mean, even though I
don't think it's selfish.
About the self, yeah, but it is like also it's how you deal and cope, and there are like stages with it, absolutely. You know. But there's people often refer to grieving the living as ambiguous loss, right? Which makes sense, right? Because it's when like the boundary between having that person and not having that person isn't clearly defined, right? It's not like life or death. Yeah. So often it has to do with someone's health, like or addiction, watching someone fall back into their addiction, or watching someone fall into dementia, which is a huge, we understand that a little bit. But yeah, so I think that it is much harder to define, but I think again, because we both have lost or been to many funerals or know many people who actually died, like it is a different feeling, but you still go through the same things. It says that you go through.
Even to jump back to that for just a minute, you experienced that kind of loss at the age of 6 by losing your parent who didn't die, who just basically up and disappeared. Yeah. So you understood very, very young, unfortunately way too young, that kind of grief of grieving the living, because it's like, she's not here anymore. And, that's fucked up.
And she's not dead.
She's not dead.
Yeah.
That's the hard part for me. You have no excuse to not be here because you're not dead. And this is your child. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. But yeah, and obviously, for my example specifically, having a parent leave at such a young age fucked me up with like attachment and afraid of abandonment with pretty much everybody else, right? I still feel that way about a lot of things. I mean, granted, therapy has helped a lot, but it is like life changing, right? Because I'm 34 and I still deal with the thoughts of like not being good enough, with the thoughts of being abandoned, with the thoughts of, just losing somebody who's important to me, but them not actually being gone. But when you go through like ambiguous loss or grieving the living, you still go through the same stages, which I didn't realize what the stages were, but like denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance, right? But those will all feel different.
Well, the interesting thing about that too is that though they list it that way, it's not this clear cut.
No.
You're going to experience each thing in turn, because you might experience all 5 and then jump back up to 1, 2, it doesn't.
Acceptance will usually be the last one that you have.
Yes, acceptance is always the last. Because once you've accepted it. But, it's like any of those things can happen at any time. And I know for me, because one of the things you mentioned was dementia, and that's why actually we decided to do this topic, is because we've been dealing with that with my mother. And it is so weird because on some days, there are parts of her that feel very normal. Yeah. But then most days, it's like, I don't know who that woman is. Right. Because she'll say and do things that are very peculiar. Yeah. And that are not the lady I grew up with. No. Now, I am very blessed that I had a good mom growing up. Because she was a good mom. Yeah. And she was crazy. I don't know why anybody on earth would have that many children and not have somebody to help them take care of them. No. But
YOLO.
For being a single mom of 6 children, she still did the best she could. Yeah. And she was a good, solid mom. Did she provide everything that we needed? No, not always. No. But love and nurturing and all of that, yes.
Yeah. And I think about this too, and this is kind of off topic, but for Grandma to have been married 3 different times and every time having children, and she still found men to marry her, she was obviously like the diamond in the rough bitch, because that was not the commonplace. No. Like, the reason you remarried was because you were a widow. You know what I mean? Or like something happened. It wasn't because you got divorced. Yeah. Right?
And often it was men would marry you to raise their children.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But she came with a whole passel of children and men still fawned over her.
Yeah, and married men with no children.
Right. Yeah. Crazy to me. Yeah. I think talking about the stages, though, I think it's interesting because when you are grieving, and grief doesn't really ever go away, right? You learn to cope, right? I don't feel like it gets smaller. I feel like you get bigger, right? Like you learn to deal, you learn to handle it, right? But I think when you're grieving somebody who is still alive, all of the things like denial and anger and bargaining change, right? Because when someone dies, you're in denial, like they're actually gone. I can't believe they actually died. I can't believe this happened, whatever. But denial for somebody who is just not there, it's a lot of what ifs. You know what I mean? It's a lot of like, what if they came back? Like, and I think abandonment is different than dementia, right?
Oh, of course.
So for me, I was always like, what if I was mad about it? I was bargaining, like, what could I have done differently to be better, right? And I'm, again, a little
what
child.
What did you do at the age of 6 to make it happen?
Right, exactly. What did I do? And why would she leave me, right? Those types of things. And with dementia, I think it's different. So I think any type of grief is going to be so different from each other because, again, with, like, grandma... Yes, what if she had changed her eating habits? What if she had, stayed more active? What if she had all the things, right?
Right.
Been better to herself?
Would any of that have made a difference?
Right. And that's the hard part. And we've talked about before how she isn't the same person because, like, you were raised by her, I was raised by her. She isn't that same person. It's still, to me, because we were so close for so long and I still see her practically every day, I don't think that necessarily makes things easier to understand that she's not the same person. I think that makes it sad. Yes. I think it makes me feel, like, heartbroken because, like, she was so important and she did so much for me. And so, like, to think of her as, like, still being here and that's still her body and still technically her mind, but it's so distorted is, like, heart-wrenching to me. It's, it just makes me really sad to think about, like, this person who did so much good is just kind of a shell of herself, Yeah.
Well, and I specifically think about how this with you was. I remember you telling me that she would often come to school with you in the morning and have breakfast with you. Mm-hmm. And all of your friends all called her grandma.
All of them, yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, grandma's here, and blah, blah, blah. And I remember it was so cute. The one night I came to your school for something, and one of your friends was like, oh, you must be Aunt Vesta.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, all these kids are calling me Aunt Vesta. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I know she was there all the time,
mm-hmm.
and she was at your school, and she was the one who advocated for you.
Yeah.
And now, unfortunately, she can't advocate even for herself.
No.
Which is heartbreaking. She is at the point where she sleeps most of the time.
Yeah.
Eats hardly at all,
mm-hmm.
and with each day, it's like there's something else that goes off of the menu.
Yeah.
It's well, I don't want to eat this anymore. Or she'll say, well, no, I have that in my fridge. Well, that's been there for months. It's now got to be bad.
Yeah.
So let's not eat that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I don't want that. So it's like, as a vegetarian, already you're limited, but
mm-hmm.
then when you keep that's not the word.
Subtracting.
Yeah. Food. It's like, well, I no longer want to eat yogurt or cottage cheese. Well, those are really easy proteins.
Yeah.
Grab up a little thing, you eat some protein, you're good.
I know.
So it's like, this is becoming more and more challenging. And then there are the bad days
mm-hmm.
where she'll ask me the same question 40 times. Or
mm-hmm.
she will, like the other day I told you, it's... how did I get here? Mm-hmm. The three common things are how did I get here?
Mm-hmm.
And she literally means how did I physically get here?
Yeah.
Was I invited to live here? Or did I just show up?
Mm-hmm.
And are you mad at me?
Yeah.
Because every day the common thing is I think because she doesn't understand what's going on, she always thinks someone's mad at her.
Yeah.
And so that in itself, I get frustrated and then I have to go, okay,
mm-hmm.
she can't help it.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make it less frustrating.
No.
And it doesn't make it so that I don't.
No.
Because the logic of it is, yes, of course she can't help it. But then that just keeps, circling that grief thing of like, oh my God.
Yeah.
This is just too much. It's too heartbreaking to think that this woman is living in a world where she doesn't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
And she always thinks everybody's got some kind of agenda of why they're mad at her or whatever. And it's like, and she's lonely, mm-hmm. even though she spends her whole day up here now. Mm-hmm. And she's bored. Mm-hmm. It's like, I can't entertain you.
No.
Mm-mm. And so it's like trying to get more people involved so they'll come like take her to lunch, take her shopping, just take her out of this house.
Mm-hmm.
Because for that time period, her mind will be engaged. Otherwise, But what I've learned is it doesn't, in the end, it still doesn't matter because she won't remember.
No.
Like the other day when she said to me, oh, we're going to go for a ride. I haven't been in the car in weeks. You were in the car yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bruce just took you, my oldest brother, just took you to dinner on Monday.
Yeah.
But I don't say that because then she just gets angry that she's forgotten something else and I'm reminding her. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, but it all leads back to the same thing. And the other day, so I get down here usually about 5:45 and, start coffee and whatever, all the things I'm doing. And she's either already sitting here on the bench.
In the dark, in
the quiet.
Uh-huh.
I was like, what are you doing? Well, I didn't want to wake anybody. Turning on the light's not going to wake anyone. We're on the next floor.
Yeah.
We're not going to see the light on.
No.
But I came down, whatever day it was, and she wasn't already up here. And as a rule, if she's not already up here, within 5 minutes of my feet hitting the ground, she's up here.
Yep.
And whatever. So I've learned to just, that's what it is. I'm not going to have quiet time.
Yeah.
Although it's quiet, but she's sitting there staring at me.
Yeah.
But it's awkward.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then T came down to leave, and he usually leaves between 6:15 and 6:30. And she's still not up here. Mm. And he was like, just points like to her normal spot. Where's your mother? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know. She hasn't come up yet.
Yeah.
He's like, well, that's weird. About half hour later, Parker comes down and he goes, where's Grandma? Mm-hmm. I was like, she hasn't come up yet. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what? He goes, do you think she's dead? I was like, well, that's a big jump there, sir. I think maybe she's just busy.
Yeah.
And of course, I had already gone through the...
Yeah.
If she's not up here by 10, I'm going to go down because she's always up here,
Yeah.
And then, of course, she came up. And when I talked to T about it later, I said, yeah, Parker's first jump was, is she dead? Mm-hmm. And he goes, me too.
Yeah.
It was the very first thing I thought. And me too.
Yeah.
Because that also is a reality yet to come. And that is one of those things. So back in the day when my friends were dying right and left from AIDS, I did what I would call pre-grieving. I would grieve the living.
Yeah.
Because I would watch my friends waste away to nothing. Mm-hmm. So it's coming.
Yeah,
and you don't know when.
Right.
And you don't know which thing is going to take them out because AIDS is not one thing. Mm-mm. And it's always...
AIDS is just like the immunity deficiency, right?
Yeah, that's all it is it means your immune system is now shit.
Yeah.
And anything can take you out.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was the thing that you're like, that?
A common cold? Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. And so I would watch my friends, and by the time they died, I was grateful that they died. Mm-hmm. Because they had been miserable.
Yeah.
One of my friends, literally, grown man, who was probably about my height, I'm 5'8". He might have been my height or maybe a tiny bit taller before he started shrinking. By the time he died, was less than 100 pounds. And he was just a sack of bones.
Yeah.
And so that in itself had to be painful.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
And he was just like, I can't die yet. I can't die. You can.
You absolutely can.
You, sweetheart, you just need to lie down and let it happen. Mm-hmm. But his whole thing, and he said this to me one day, because I said, baby, what is even keeping you here? Because he, by this point, is in hospice. And I was getting ready to go on vacation. So I was like, I came to see him at the hospice. And I said, honey, it's okay. You can go.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't go. And I said, why not? Mm-hmm. He's like, well, I'm afraid that the world's going to go on without me. And I said, of course it is. It's going to go on without all of us.
Yeah.
I said, but the people who knew you will remember you and talk about you and tell your stories and tell about the great things you did and what a pain in the ass you were and how funny you were and how whatever. Because... we're not one thing.
No.
And, it's like, but, here was this guy who never wanted anyone to be unhappy.
Yeah.
And so he was like a happiness junkie. But that often made people unhappy because he was like trying so hard to make sure everyone was happy.
Silver lining,
right.
Yeah, happiness.
And...
toxic positivity.
Right. But I said my goodbyes and stuff, and then I got on a plane and went to California. But by the time I got there, he had passed.
Yeah.
But by the time he passed, I had been grieving him for months.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, oh my God, this is so sad. It was
No.
like, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God this man who I watched go from this very vibrant, wonderful, hilarious person to this really sad, hooked up to tubes and things person.
Yeah.
You know, and looking like a skeleton.
Ugh, gosh.
It was like, I'm so glad that you finally have gone home.
Yeah.
Because you needed to go.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
and I think we got a big dose of this a few years ago with my sister, right?
Oh, yeah.
The whole bullshit of dying.
Because we haven't even talked about that at all.
No, and we won't talk about... We'll go into detail about my sister. She's a lying cow. But she was dying of cancer, allegedly. And it was a lot. Like, and it brought up a lot of things for me, too. Because we grew up together. We grew up in the same abusive household. We lived through a lot of shit together. And so... And a lot of her wanting... You know, her process was wanting to talk about the things that we went through together. And... To me, I was like, we'll talk about whatever you want. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, if you're dying, we'll talk about whatever you want.
This is your show.
But leaving there was always just like, I was emotionally exhausted and just like mentally distraught because it was so much to deal with. Like this person that I'd grown up with, this person who had gone through and witnessed the same shit I did, who actually was there, a part of it with me, and we had to help each other survive it. And she was like dying. And you know, a lot of that time I lived in Los Angeles and I was coming back as often as I could to stay with her. And it really disrupted, honestly, my entire life to have my sibling be dying from cancer. And again, I say allegedly, and we'll talk about that sometime, but I was so raw all of the time. And I felt like I was like dimming as a person because I was just so, I don't know, I just felt like there was a huge part of me that was also dying with her. You know what I mean? And it's not that we are always necessarily so close, even as adults, but we had gone through so much. We had so much of a shared history and a shared trauma that it was really hard for me to...
I think so much of that, though, is the fact that you had someone else who knew that the shit you said happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was validation, right? For me, that's what it felt like because, you know, I've told my story to a lot of people about abuse and whatever. And people are always like shocked or that's sad or upsetting or whatever. But to have somebody there who was there with me, who was firsthand, saw everything, felt everything, it was very different experience. So I think that was the most recent time that I've been grieving the living. And now I don't grieve her anymore because she's alive. But, you know, it was devastating. It was fucked up. Yeah, it was a lot. And then everything that went with that, like the rest of our family who didn't talk to her and everyone else who treated her like shit or whatever the case may be. There was so many different, like, all the issues were so intermingled that it was such a big issue to deal with. So leaving was just like, I had just worked out vigorously, you know?
Right.
And I remember leaving and we were together, leaving and just like crying all the way home. And when my good Judy Sebastian and I would go, he would drive home and I would just weep because it was just too much, you know?
Yeah.
And then to find out all of it was bullshit was like, that makes me want to murder. It makes me feel really homicidal. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
I do,
anyway.
as a matter of fact.
But yeah.
I do. And even the way that folks reacted to that was like, there's only one person who you should even have any kind of issues or feelings towards.
Yep.
The person who perpetrated this entire thing.
Yep.
Not those of us who came by and supported.
No.
Because we were all under the same... We'd all heard the same story.
Yeah.
We were all under the same beliefs.
Yep.
So, you know, we're not, culpable for whether it was true or not.
No.
So, and that was weird. I'm going to share with you just a funny little thing that I know I've told you. So, and this is not really on topic, but one of my clients, Aunt Marty.
Oh, Aunt Marty.
So Aunt Marty was the aunt of one of my friends, but I always called her Aunt Marty because my friend called her Aunt Marty, and she's not really that much older than me, but it doesn't matter. I called her Aunt Marty. And we would go visit her, go to her house and whatever. Aunt Marty was rich.
Rich.
And when I say rich, I don't know rich from poor. I mean, I know that she owned several properties and she had a lot of money and she paid cash for her house. That to me is rich.
Agreed.
Whether to Elon Musk that is rich, probably not.
No.
But it's like when her dad died and she was like, oh, I got this box of stuff. And in there was a money belt. And by the way, to this day, I'm not even sure what a money belt is.
No.
It was like, I think it's one of those things you wear at a carnival to make change, but I don't think that's it.
Is it like a bat belt with all your tools
Ooh,
in it, including money?
But she's like, oh, and then when I went and opened it up, because it was one of the things that he had left to her, and apparently nobody looked at it, because I guess rich people don't think, I better go through that and see if there's money in there. Well, it was a money belt. Guess what? There was money in it.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh yeah, there was like $50,000 in it. $50,000? Now, if I opened up your money belt, found $5, I'd be like, oh, cool.
Oh my God, look what I got. Yep.
But, so I did her hair for many, many years. And hung out, like I said, went to her house. She gave me artwork for my salon, different things. And a lot furniture. Like if she got tired of something, she's like, hey, do you want this? Sure.
Yeah,
I'll take it. I'll take her hand-me-downs. I'm not proud.
No.
Whatever. Well, one day she calls me up, and she was clearly hoping to not get me because she was going to basically break up with me.
Yeah.
Only because she wanted someone to give her extensions. I was like, girl, as fine and thin as your hair is, I don't recommend it. Whatever. But I talked to her, and she was like, it's not personal. I love you. Blah, blah. Yeah, great. I understand. You want extensions? I don't do extensions. I'm not that skilled. Cool.
Now you should have learned that.
Bitch. So, a year later, I think she died. Left every fucking thing to her hairdresser. Everything.
Oh my God.
She left the condo, the apartment building, her house in Lake Oswego, and all the contents.
That's crazy.
And all of her money. And I'm all,
holy shit.
I could be rich now.
Yep.
But I should have learned how to do fucking
I know,
extensions.
you could have taken the goddamn time.
Did I grieve that? Oh, I sure did. I was like, and I know this makes me sound like a terrible person, but at the same time you think...
Anyone who's listening...
I was the person...
knows you're a terrible...
who took care of her.
Yeah.
Her hair. I didn't take care of her.
Yeah.
But also came to see her when her idiot husband turned out to be a pile of garbage and beat the shit out of her.
Yep.
And, you know, we come visit her and go do whatever. And it's like... So for this new person who's been knowing her for 5 minutes,
she gets everything.
I was like, well, that just figures.
Yep. I'm just not meant
Isn't
to
it
be
ironic, Alanis? Because it kind of is. I was like, oh, tragic.
I know. But, I know, girl. That I do remember that. Aunt Marty was a hoot,
and
though.
I still love Aunt Marty. I mean, she's been gone for some time, but she was a crazy lady.
Crazy.
But like one day she goes, hey, can you come to my house? And I was like, sure, what's up? Oh, I just have some stuff I want to give you. And I was like, all right, whatever.
Here's a money belt.
Here's a money belt. Look inside. I haven't looked inside. There might be money. No. And she was like, here's this new Xbox. No, PlayStation. It was PlayStation. Because it belonged to her husband who beat her up. And she was like, he ain't getting nothing back. Here's this brand new PlayStation. I don't know how it works, so I think here's all the parts. And here's this. She's like filling my car with stuff. And I was like,
all right, girl.
All right. And I don't play video games really either. So, but my husband was like, ooh, PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because it was the newest one.
Yeah.
And I'm all, sure. Yeah. I'll take your stuff.
Love it. Yeah.
And the artwork she gave me still hangs all over my salon.
Yeah.
So.
Aunt Marty.
Rest in peace.
What a crazy woman. She was kooky as fuck, but I love Aunt Marty.
Yeah. She was. She was a crazy lady. But, you know... So we are actually kind of nearing the end of our time together today.
Oh my God.
I know.
I'm
so
grieving
glad
it.
We had this time to... Yeah. You know, that's one thing I don't grieve. I celebrate it because every week, and I know I tell you this all the time, I'm always like, we're not going to have anything to talk about. We'll never make it a full hour, blah, 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 blah. And we always do.
Yeah.
And it's always... I had anxiety before, and sometimes during, and I check the clock a lot to go... Oh God! Unlike last week where we talked almost to the end before it's like our intro was 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
That is the one thing, and then we get to the end, I celebrate because I'm like, oh look, we did another podcast,
which is so funny to me.
I have so much fun doing it.
Agreed.
And no matter what our topic is,
whether we have one or not,
I enjoy it because one, I get to spend time with you.
Yes, agreed.
And not that I don't ever spend time with you because you live, I don't know, 50 feet
from
me in the backyard.
In your cute little house. At your house practically daily.
Yeah.
So.
Well, now that my kids are hanging out with you more, it's like, I see you even more.
I know.
Which is wonderful. But I cherish any time I get to spend with you. So thank you for doing this crazy thing with me every week.
Of course.
And thank you people out there who are listening to us. You people. Oh, that was racist.
I know. You're a problem. You're a real problem.
But I really appreciate all of you who listen to us every week. And,
same.
I hope you listen to us next week. And Send us your letters like Rose. Mm-hmm. And Rose, I'm sending all the energy to your dad to heal. And
the love and light.
The love and light and all those things. Oh, just remember, thoughts and prayers are
Thoughts
for
and prayers.
gun violence.
Mm-hmm. What is it? Prayers and sorrows. What is it?
Prayers, sorrows. If you haven't watched Queen Charlotte, so when her daughter-in-law dies and she keeps just tapping her son on the prayers, sorrows, or sorrows, prayers. It's like, oh, Charlotte. Clearly you are very invested in this relationship. Yeah,
loved her.
But that's also another thing about grief is people don't know often how to behave.
Right.
They don't know what to say. Mm-mm. They don't, because they'll be like, sorry for your loss. The one that pisses me off, so don't ever say this to someone who's lost someone, is they're in a better place.
Bitch, how do you know?
I'm sorry, but that's a fucked up... They're in a better place than at my house.
Uh-huh.
Or
how dare
with
you?
their family.
Yeah.
You, A, don't know where they are, and perhaps, most likely, I don't share your religious bent. Yeah. So don't say that.
No.
Don't ever say that. That's never helpful.
No, not ever.
Or God needed another angel. Don't say that either.
Ew.
If God needed another angel, he could just make one.
Yeah, he's God, stupid.
Right, he can make anything if he's his God you believe him to be. So don't take my person to make your angel.
No, rude. They weren't a Christian either.
Right, they didn't like you neither.
They're going to get up there and be all, what the fuck?
Right. So send us your letters to itwouldseemasthough@gmail.com. Yep. And we will, as you've heard, we will read them.
We were.
Yeah. We were.
Words are hard, okay?
Words are hard. It is early in the morning
here.
It is
so early.
It is at the crack of noon. And
It's 11:30. Let's not get crazy.
Well, that's the crack of noon. Noon's starting to crack.
Oh, yep. Okay. You're right.
Yeah. So we will talk to you next week.
All right. Goodbye. Love you.
Bye.
Mean it.
It would seem as though